This video is to show you how to remove a chime module from a NuTone IM4006 master station. You'll need three things to do this task. You'll need a Phillips screwdriver, a roll of masking tape, and a Sharpie to write on the masking tape. The first step is to open up your IM4006 master station. There are two mounting screws that go through the faceplate, one on the right and one on the left. Once the screws have been undone, you can slide the master station forward slightly and it will tilt down on its built-in hinges. It's always a tight fit. There's a lot behind the master station, and the first thing you want to do is find the support strap. The support strap has a hook on the end of it, and if it's been bent out of shape, you can rebend it and hook it up on the top of the wall housing to give it some additional support. Before we get to the chime module, let's go over the anatomy of your NuTone IM4006. Underneath this foil shield is the clock and memory display board. This area is entirely the cassette player assembly with its built-in preamp. This board at the bottom is the AM/FM tuner. Hidden down at the very bottom on the left is the master control board, and this large board on the back of the set that's most prominent is the intercom control board. Tucked underneath the chassis bracket is the amplifier and power supply, and all the way on the left, beyond the edge of the top board, is the chime module. Here's a closer up view of the chime module. It's located on the left-hand end of the intercom chassis, and it sits in its own plastic mounting bracket. It has this reddish insulating cardboard sheet attached to the back of it with a wire tie. This is necessary to be in place because when you fold the master station back up into the wall housing, if this insulator sheet isn't in place, the back of the chime module board can short out against the metal wall housing and cause improper operation or the chime module to fail. The first step in removing the chime module is to unplug its connecting cable from the master station. You'll see that there is this long gray flat ribbon wire, which usually has a single red stripe on one edge, and it goes down to this connector, which plugs into the main board on the back of the unit. All you have to do is simply pull it up and disconnect it. The chime module is held into its mounting bracket with a single screw that you can access through a hole in the cardboard insulator. You'll need a Phillips screwdriver, and you simply remove the screw and save it because you'll need it when you reinstall the chime module after I've repaired it for you, and the chime module lifts out of its bracket. Now you can see the face of the chime module. On the face of the chime module there are lots of electronic components, and there are also a row of 4 screws. One screw is larger than the other 3. The large screw is the common screw, and it's marked that way on the circuit board. The other 3 screws are marked front, rear, and side, and those are for different entry door push buttons: front door, rear door, side door, and each of these connections will produce a different chime tone when that button is pushed, so you have an indication of where the visitor is located. Now let's remove the wires. This is where your masking tape and marker come into play. First, remove the wire from the large standoff, which is push button common. Remove the wire from under the screw. This wire happens to be a red wire with a white stripe. The colors of your wires may be different because it simply comes down to what color wire did the installer have on that day when he installed your system. So that you can remember where the wire goes, because it will be about 2 weeks by the time you send me your chime module and we repair it and then we send it back, and you'll probably forget where the wires went. Take a piece of masking tape, wrap it around the wire, and use your marker to write some descriptive term that makes sense to you, and then do the second wire. On this sample installation, we just have 2 wires, common and front. So we'll remove the front. We'll put another piece of masking tape and mark it as front. Your installation may have a rear and or a side door button. If it does, remove those wires and label them accordingly. There are really 2 possible chime modules that could have been used on your installation. You may have a standard IA29, which gives you 8 notes for the front door, 1 note for the rear door, and 2 notes for the side door. Or you might have the optional IA29 musical chime module. Musical chime modules give you a selection of 12 different songs for the front door, plus the standard note, 1 note and 2 note for rear and side. If you have an IA28 chime module, you won't have these blue wires. These are only for IA29s. So if you have an IA28 chime module, your task is now done, except for packaging up and sending me your chime module. In this particular case, this installation has the optional IA29. So we have some blue wires, and these blue wires, if you follow them down, they go to a small board that's located in the bottom left-hand corner of the master station faceplate. Here you can see the chime tune selection board, and it's been fastened in place as it should be with a single screw on this little bracket that remains on the back of the faceplate. To remove the selection board, you simply undo the screw, again putting it aside and saving it because you'll need it when you reinstall the chime module, and now the board has been removed. The chime selection board consists of just a small board and a little push button switch which allows you to change the tunes. Now your chime module removal is complete. It's not a bad idea to take the chime module mounting screw and thread it back into the mounting bracket, and also take the tune selection switchboard screw and put it back in the mounting bracket so they don't get lost between now and the time you get your repair chime module back. With the chime module removed, now it's time to close your master station back up again. Take the chime wires that you've labeled and curl them up and tuck them out of the way inside the wall housing, just temporarily till you get your chime module back. Carefully close up the master station, reinsert the screws through the mounting holes in the faceplate, and tighten them back up with a screwdriver. You can tighten them back up all the way if you like, or you can leave them slightly loose since you'll be removing the master station again once you get your repaired chime module back.